Well, this was unexpected, wasn't it? Oh boy, was not expecting a Burn&Learn today, were you? Oh, all right. Emperor Palatine returns. What do I got here? Let's go to YouTube. Bring that up. Viewing my channel. Going live. Popping out the chat because that's pop out the chat, pop it out. Here we go. So you can see what's going on. I do have to figure out how to get both of these chats available to peeps, don't I? What does this got? What do we got here? No, that's the wrong. Is the wrong chat? Did I pop out the wrong chat? Good Lord, what have I done? Okay, let's do this. Let's go to YouTube again. Let's do that. Here we go. YouTube, I'm live. I don't feel very alive, I've got to say. I feel pretty dead. I don't feel alive at all. How are you, Jay? Or Travis Weeks, too. Hello. Lorenzo. I'm going to pop out this chat. Pop out the chat. Pop it out. Okay, so here we go. I've got all that there. I can now, I think, get rid of those. Get rid of that. And now I can see everybody. Hello, Teox. Mandy, you wonderful person, for subscribing again. Good evening, David. 14 months. Whoa. Holy cow, Mandy. Has it been that long? I remember it feels like only yesterday you came popping in as a new chat or first time chat or something. Space Invaders. 82. Good year. Good morning to you. Kiss and Jinx. Throwing out all my favorite little icons there. Who else do we have in there? Seabast, David B, North Yorkshire, very good. I'm not going to try. The worst thing about everyone who's not from England is they immediately start doing accents as soon as you tell someone you're from England. And I just caught myself because I almost did it. Good afternoon, David from Laura. How are you, Laura? Mark G, 128. 128. Yeah, 128. One of those wonderful hex numbers. Good afternoon, everyone from Wendy. I'll pass that on. High in Michigan is back. Woohoo! Well, we nerds seem to like the same stuff. It's true, Kissin. It's true. We do. Trenium TV, hello to you. We got a hype train already? Good Lord. This is crazy. I'm a great sweaty beast. Wow, I don't understand why you're here. I know why I'm here. I'm here to guilt myself into exercising. You must be some kind of masochistic enjoying watching me all sweaty and gross. It really is disgusting how sweaty I am. Today, I was not supposed to exercise. Oh, I need that. Also need a coffee too. I don't know why I didn't think to bring a coffee. But anyways, this, for those of you who don't know, is my Burn and Learn. This is my bit to stay alive and fit long enough to enjoy my retirement years with my fabulous, brilliant wife, Jane, my fantastic son, Sebastian, and our miserable mutt of a wretched beast that woke me up by jumping up and gutting me with her claws this morning. Huzzah! So, not a big fan of that mutt right now, I gotta say. So here I am, dripping with sweat after a mere 25 minutes on the elliptical today. So I did my full-on action hero torture device routine yesterday, and I'm supposed to do it every other day. And my wife was looking a little nervously at me. Am I going to become too obsessive again? I could tell she's like, well, should you be? But I did a very low, turned attention down to 5, just did 25 minutes, which would be 12 and a half minutes forward, 12 and a half back. That's all I did, but I did listen to my Song of the Cell. I don't know what it was today. There was something about this morning. I don't know what it is about getting older as a parent, maybe. I mean, I went to wake up Baz this morning, and I'm getting to the point where I sort of dread it because I feel like such a pain in the ass. You know, like I'm there trying to wake him up in time so he's not late for school. And of course, if someone woke me up, I'd want to punch him in the face. You know, so Baz is just not particularly, pleasant in the morning either, of course, as no one, as absolutely no one is. And I suddenly went, this is crazy. Talk about, learned helplessness. Maybe he should be getting himself up in the morning, and if he's late and leave it at that. So I don't know. We'll see how it works. But he said he likes being woken up, but as I said to him, I said, I don't think I like waking you up. Anyways, it's just this weird stage that you get to with kids where they're basically grown-ups. I mean, the thing I keep thinking to myself, and this is unfair to equate the two because we're very different people. Baz is very, is good at school. He does his homework. He's getting good marks. He has good friends. He's participating. He's just got his third job now. which is really fun. And you know, like he's doing the work that I didn't do. I wanted to be an actor, and I swanned around dressing up, but, you know, and I didn't do the homework, and I didn't do the work, and I just could not find the energy or the interest to focus on school. Anyways, so he's great. You know, but I was out of the house at 17, right? Like I was gone. I mean, you know, we sort of joke about it in the family. I mean, my dad kicked me out. Like he said unequivocally that if I was no longer at school, then I was a grown up, and as a grown up, then I needed to go and live on my own. I wasn't going to live with my parents. That's ridiculous. And I realize now, you know, education was a huge part of my father's life. Still is, obviously. But that you know, my father, you know, came from nothing. They lived in an artist shack in Kent, you know, on the top of a you know, a farmless chalk lump in Kent, which was beautiful. I loved it. Fantastic place. You know, my uncle used to build trains, well, still does, build trains and stuff around the property. Just amazing, magical place as a child. But you know, that's because they all grew up there. Like all of the kids grew up there. They built houses on there. It became like almost like a you know, like a freehold farm with multiple families living on it. You know, they built that place. But when my dad was growing up, they're like, you know, they had to sort of, you know, crack the ice on the water to draw water. And I mean, it was, you know, it was a tough living, and there wasn't a lot of money, and there was, you know, Second World War and stuff. And so his way out was education. Like he had to work hard and get great marks and get himself scholarships and stuff to get to the schools that his parents couldn't afford. And, you know, he basically worked his way out of poverty to become a doctor and a successful doctor and then raise these horrid kids, one of which didn't want to go to school. And that's me. So he was really, I think, understandably worried. And I think, you know, at the time I was furious at him for you know, that ultimatum. You know, which he followed through on, and luckily he followed through on it. Partially, I got a film. I got one of my first big films, Pin, soon after that. So I had the money to go off and buy ugly leather sofas for my apartment and glass black cabinets and things. It was a ridiculous spending of money. Anyways, you know, so I was on my own. So it's weird parenting a kid who's less than a year away from that age. Now, to be fair, it was probably closer to 18. I was still 17, but it was still, you know, closer to 18. But still, like, I can't imagine doing that. Like, there's no way I'm doing it. I'm not kicking my kid out. I can't do it. Don't tell him that, because I will threaten all the time. But I can't see myself kicking the kid out, and I don't think I'd be able to do that. I don't think Jane could either, for that matter. You know, we really enjoy having the kid around. I mean, I want to murder him maybe 10% of the time, but still, you know, so it's just, I don't know how much I should be doing for him, or how little I should be doing for him, and how much, you know, we need to push him. I will say the one shining light that I have, that I feel that was one of my many spur of the moment thoughts as a parent, was the job thing. And I think getting the job, I think has made him understand money in a way that he didn't before. And he's still far too generous with it. I mean, he still spends it like water, usually on other people, which is amazing. You know, we got amazing gifts at Christmas. I can't believe the amount of money he spent on that stuff, buying us, you know, water, you know, what are those things called? SodaStream. Thank you, Jane. Jane is homesick today. Jane is not feeling well. Jane moved a chair with me, and unlike superhuman David, Jane is just a fragile woman. I had to say that because she's right there. No, Jane is far stronger than I am. But she just, I guess she bent in the wrong way, and it tweaked her back and just put her out for a day. And then I feel like that really kicked her in the gut, because then all this, you know, today she's got a cold and stuff. So I don't know. She's stuck at home with me making fun of her on live stream. So I did tilt the camera away this time. So if you needed to change, you didn't have to walk past the camera. Poor Jane. You know, I'm like, you know, hey, I'm moving out of the basement. I'll be in the garage, except it's too cold. So now I'm in the corner of your dressing room, just during the winter months. It'll be fine. Anyway, so that's it. Feel better, Jane. Thank you. James R. Gurney, how are you, man? I cannot wait to finish this book and talk to you, because I have so many questions. I'm not sure if I even have so many questions. I would just like things clarified. You know, James R. Gurney, if you're not already following him, you should absolutely be following him. He's on Twitch. I don't know, are you on YouTube as well still, James? Are you posting your stuff on YouTube as well? But however you can find him, find James R. Gurney. He's absolutely fantastic. He's my science savior. And of course, I will also, very reluctantly say lots of love and thanks to Cal too for being here as the wonderful mod. As always, I don't know. Again, the woman doesn't sleep. I'm a bit worried about her. I think she might be a bot. Is it possible, Cal? Is it possible you're like a Twitch bot of some sort? That you're not actually human? Is it possible that I have sold my soul to some kind of a non-human AI entity of some sort? Boop beep boop bop boop. Thank you, Zephyr La. Cal, if I was a Twitch bot, I would have been fired. If you were a Twitch bot, you would have left. You would have taken over and left long ago. Twitch bot would just ain't gonna be doing the amount of work you do for me. It's wonderful. One day, Cal, this will be a massive tech bandits empire, and we'll all have fabulously paid jobs as we save the world. Speaking of which, one of my jobs while I do my exercise, because I hate it so much, is to read. So, and by reading, I've given up on that too. So that's not true. I haven't given up on reading, but I listen to audiobooks. So while I'm working out, I can't read while I'm working out. I find the up and down stuff a little bit much, and it's hard enough to concentrate for Mr. ADD anyways. So what I've been doing is reading, so listening with the audiobooks on Audible, and quite expensively, I've got to say, also buying the Kindle book so I can go back over it and keep track of some of the stuff. I mean, these books, the books that I like to read for some reason are probably one of the more difficult ones to listen to. Most people listen to, or a lot of people listen to, just fiction stuff on Audible. I don't like fiction audiobooks. I can't help it. I think it's an actor thing where I just go like, that's a stupid voice. I don't like that. That's, so I'm constantly sort of judging performances, but I wouldn't do it like that. I don't know what it is. It's maybe at some point in my life I'll calm the hell down and be able to do it. But I don't really enjoy fiction. I like reading fiction. Nonfiction stuff I love listening to, but this biology stuff, which I know very little about, but I'm absolutely fascinated in, because I feel like I missed out. My poor father, as a doctor, as a obstetric and gynecology, dealing with in vitro fertilization and test tube baby stuff, microneedling and all this, like all these amazing things that he was doing, and I'm like, I don't want to know about that. I'm going to be an actor. I mean, I've discovered that biology is really just another robotics makerspace. It's just a wonderful place for things to be built and taken apart to figure out how they work and stuff. Maybe not humans, but from on a cellular level, it's just wonderful stuff. So the book that I'm reading right now is called Song of the Cell. Brilliantly written. I can say that safely now. I don't know how many hours in I am at this point, but it is just, I am absolutely loving it. Who recommended this? Was it you, James? Did you recommend this book? I can't remember who recommended it. The book is really good. My friend got a decent section about him and his yeast. Oh, James, fantastic. That was one of the things I was so fascinated about. I think I talked about it yesterday on the Burn&Learn. The idea that he's sort of cycling through these through yeast propagation. So he's growing yeast, and they're budding and duplicating as they do. And then any of the heavier ones that tended to be cells stuck together, these yeast cells that are stuck together, would drop to the bottom. He'd take those out and then sort of propagate those again. Is propagate the right word? Is that what I'm saying? I mean, basically breed that stuff. Oh my God, who's done that? Mandy, what are you doing? Save your money, Mandy. For God's sake, I'm sure you've got more important things to do than giving people access to my sweaty stream. But thank you very much, Mandy. That's very, very sweet of you. You don't have to do that. But yes, the Ryan Pyros. It's true. James Gurney's the best. It's true. But yeah, so this yeast thing is fabulous, because the more he continued this cycle of taking out just these heavier cells and putting them back in the pot and brewing them up again as yeast, eventually they got to this point where they were multicellular. They were these living snowflakes, as he called it. If that's your friend, I would love to talk to him about that. That'd be fantastic. We got to do a biology. God damn it! There's not enough hours in the day. But I want to do biology. We got Dr. N PhD. We'll have to get him on that stuff. Anyways, yes, I would love to do some more talking about that stuff. Oh, I've lost the where's my YouTube thing? There we go. And I can check see what's going on YouTube as well. David, touch your nose if you and or Momoa are in the works for a Stargate reboot. But I do that all the time, Ben. What do I do? God, it'd be fun to work with Momoa again. I got to say, it was working on C was just wonderful. Maybe Tropper will come up with something fabulous that we could do together, because God, it would be amazing. There's a cool animation when you click the thumbs up icon. Is there? I didn't know that. Books on audio is redundant. When you read yourself, you create the character voices in your head to yourself. Yeah, I agree. Elihu. I just prefer that. I've always preferred that. But for some reason, with the fiction, with the nonfiction stuff, again, even that though, you get a bad, voiceover guy or whoever it is, or woman, or if you get someone who's not good at reading the book to you, it ruins a book. I mean, it's like bad subtitles or bad, bad dubbing, basically. Sub and overdub. And I have a PhD in biology. Does that make me a tech bandit? Yes, Fengare, or Fengare. Yeah, it most certainly does. If you're here, you're a tech bandit, basically. Which reminds me, I must check in with Vipup, see how he's doing. Speaking of tech bandits, Monday, I am so excited about Monday. I am going to go to the University of Toronto, and I'm going to go and talk to them about escape room learning. I can't freaking wait. It's going to be just awesome. I can't believe that I'm not sure whose name I'm allowed to say or not, but that the professor is letting me do this, and that she's so responsive to the idea, and she's really followed up on it and put together some resources for them, and we're going to find out if this actually works or not. So it's very, very cool. And then we'll have to see how they go with that. Maybe I might even talk to Randy the Magic Man about some stuff too, because it might be good to come in and have see what they're working on. I'm also really debating doing, how do I put this in action? Like, could I do some kind of an after school program, which is just escape room learning, which is so basically maybe like we go to a couple of escape rooms as a group, and then we sort of debrief on the experience, and then we talk about how we could build our own versions of these things and get a few Arduinos going and figure out some puzzles and stuff. I think that'd be a great way for kids to learn. They could do some video stuff if they wanted to. Basically, the process of trying to design an escape room or design an escape room puzzle or two for kids, I think that'd be really fun, and a great way for me to learn how this stuff is done with the kids. Because to me, it's not much fun. Like, one of the problems that teachers run into is that they want to know everything. And you have to know a certain amount of stuff for sure. But I feel like if you can be learning with the kid, it just makes it much more exciting for the teacher. It also makes it much more exciting for the student as well, because they get to sort of learn along with you in some way. Is David ever coming to Aussie Comic-Con? Oh, man, I'd love to. Australia Comic-Con's fabulous. I am, however, going to Rotorua. No, is that not Rotorua? It's not. No. Where am I going? Tauranga? I think I'm going to Tauranga. I think I may be going to a New Zealand, maybe a Comic-Con in, is it March or April? Yeah, it was a last minute thing. My wife is going there for work, and she suggested we come with her, and I was like, we don't have any money, and then so she whored me out. Very wisely, actually. So I get to go hang out, do some geek stuff with you guys in New Zealand, and then my son and I and her will go and geek out around New Zealand. I think probably the North Island, but maybe we'll go to the South Island this time. I don't think we've ever been to the South Island. So if you've got things we should do or connections that we should make, then please let me know. That'd be fun. Would it be fun to design an escape room? I think so, Alan Cave. I think that would be, yeah, I do think that'd be amazing. Hardest part of escape room is what's the first thing to do? Yeah, but this is it, Elihu. I think it's, escape rooms are being used in classrooms. It's not like this is anything new. It has been used in the past. But I feel like that's where it ends, and that's really where it should be beginning. Because the biggest advantage to me, or the gift that these things can give, is the idea of finding your community. Like, you go in to build an escape room and everyone goes off into their little clique as to what they're interested in. You got the theater folks are off there telling each what wonderful, smoking cigarettes or pot or whatever, and standing outside with their multicolored hair and stuff. That's what I did. I didn't do the pot, though. I did a lot of cigarettes, though. The miserable thing. Anyways, so, they go off and do their pretentious acting stuff. Then you've got the writers who are all a little bit antisocial, but they've gotten angry, and they've got some ideas, and so they're writing stories. Then you've got the engineering nerds who are like, oh, we could build this and do that. And maybe there's someone who's doing a little bit of, these little film pieces, little filmic pieces they want to do. And the idea that that someone could come into there and find some kind of stream of learning, more importantly, hopefully curriculum based, but I think most importantly, they find their peeps. Because that's what I did, inadvertently. I had friends who were making movies, and I wanted to be an actor, and I just, so of course we fell in together, and next thing you know, we're making movies, and 30-something years later, we're still making movies together. We did Cabinets of Curiosity together with my high school friend. that's, that would be the greatest gift I think you could give. And this comes from the Stargate stuff. Like, Stargate, one of my most favorite things for people to say to me. Now, don't everyone say them now. But when I meet you at a convention or something, is people will come up and say like, hey, I'm taking astrophysics because of Mukherjee, or I'm in the sciences or biology because of Stargate or whatever. That was one of the most rewarding things I've ever. This strange feeling of like, oh my God, I'm a high school dropout, inspiring people into higher learning. Like, how freaking cool is that? I've always been a lifelong learner. I've always been passionate about learning stuff. I've always been curious about everything. Too many things all at the same time. ADD. But also, and so how could I continue that? Like, the hope is that you could, be on a million shows that all do that for people. But the reality is, as an actor, you work when you can, and those opportunities just come often just once in a lifetime. I've been very, very lucky. I've had numerous things that I've been able to do that seem to have resonated with people, Stargate being probably, one of the biggest. So, the idea that I could keep doing that in my own way is wonderful. Like, that's sort of my hope with this whole escape room learning thing, and with Tech Bandits for that matter. Is, the idea that, some kid in 20 years' time goes like, yeah, I was with this weird actor guy. He was on some show or something. And, but I, he told me a thing about dinosaurs, and now I'm a paleontologist or something. I just think that to me is that's a legacy. You know what I mean? Not that I need a legacy. You're dead, you don't care anymore. But it's not even the legacy is not even the part that I guess I'm really interested in. It's just the fun of learning and a reason for doing it, frankly. But nice to figure out how to make money doing it. That'd be good. I could stop doing some of the acting stuff. Again, I love the acting stuff. The great acting roles are, oh man, I'm never gonna stop that. I'm never gonna stop being an actor. But the idea that I've always said I love acting. I freaking hate being an actor. Like, some of the stuff you have to do and and it's so inefficient and all the things. Ugh. Anyways, I'm doing a short film in a couple of weeks, so maybe I'll start liking it again. Detroit Comic Con. Oh man, that'd be awesome. I would go dressed as RoboCop. That would be that's what if I'm going to Detroit. That's what I dress at. I'm an astrophysicist without a degree. Well, very good. So there you go. So you're what would you call it? A citizen astrophysicist. There you go. The hardest part of escape room is the first. Yeah, that was a good point actually. What is the hardest part of escape room is what's the first thing to do? I think what they say, and certainly in my very limited experience, I've done more research on escape games than I've actually done them. I've done a number of these, boxed versions or mailed versions or printout versions. I've done a lot of those. The only escape room I've done was literally was like a part of a movie shoot. Like that, it's as close as I've got. I think we're going to do one this weekend, actually. But from what I understand, the best thing to do is just you just take in your surroundings and you make sure you've got that you let everybody know what you found, because you don't want someone knowing something that no one else knows, because the whole point is to get the team to work together. So I would say the first thing to do is look around. And things that stand out to you, numbers or whatever, any sort of type of clues, you make sure that the general population knows that. Maybe there's one person who could sort of compile it and jot some notes down or something. But communication seems to be key when it comes to this stuff. And then eventually people delegate into what they're good at and stuff. But the most important thing I think is communication. So you want to make sure that you let everyone know what you've discovered and what you're thinking. So I'm working in IT and I love it. Good man, Birdie Dad. What are you doing in IT? What kind of stuff are you doing? I took 2 years off acting to do IT. It was a long time ago now. Back in the days when it was, God, what was the networking I used to have to use for that? It was, what was it? It was Apple Talk, and then there was another one, Novell Networks. I guess it was a Novell Network. Is that right? Is that what it's called? these ridiculous cables and things. Oh God, it was a nightmare. Hi, David. You said in a past stream, I'm not saying hi to Alex. Hi, Alex. It is I, Alex. My partner is Hexiverse. I wanted to watch the stream but couldn't, so they said hi for me. Oh, well, fantastic, Sunnyverse. I'm so glad you could be here. Hexiverse, yes, did a very, very good job of I felt a little bad. Like, I thought maybe, as possible, that could have been misconstrued. But, yes, I like to get a little Rodney when it comes to sort of shout-outs and stuff. So, welcome, Sunnyverse. Thank you for coming, and thank you for being partners with such a fabulous partner, for that matter. Yes, Novell, that's what it was, the Novell thing. Yeah, I work on IT as well. We used to quote McKay in our office all the time, really. Yeah. The snarky stuff, I'll bet. Novell, that's right, the Novell Network, 20 years ago. Is that what it was? Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, my God. That's insane. Zenos, how are you, buddy? Rained earlier here in Missouri, and now it's freezing. Then sometime it's going to be snow and high winds till Saturday. Good Lord, Dewey. Well, stay safe. That sounds horrible. Here it is, it's supposed to be snow and then rain and then snow and then it'll freeze and I'll be skating around like Bambi on ice. Escape room sounds great for science learning, particularly for folk who are often left out of traditional methods. It takes a lot of creativity, I think, to escape. I'm too chicken to have done one. Well, this is it, Kaylin Scott. The idea of it is nerve-wracking, but the whole point of it is not to solve it. The point of it is to enjoy it. I think that the solution rates on most of these games is something like, I think it's like 20 to 30%. But you want to leave feeling that you've, accomplished something. Or as I burp up my bubbly, my body's saying, for God's sake, stop talking and drink something. We're basically integrating escape game principles in a game concept we're exploring at the moment. Love this stuff. Oh, Seabass, fantastic. What are you working on? I've got some game stuff that I really would like to work on. There's a card game system that I would love to put together. Which I think would be fun. It's my son and I talked about it when he was much, much younger, called Aliens versus Astronauts. And it's like kind of it's a Magic the Gathering style game, but you play by building empires based on the cards you've got and the crystals that you can utilize as various. Well, I mean, instead of mana, you've got these crystals that have to be mined, and you can own different sections of the universe and stuff. And the idea is basically you can just create this endless selection of wonderful, alien creatures, and then you've also got these human astronauts, and you can even divide those up into different factions and stuff. So I just think it'd be really, really fun. I've always, I love Magic the Gathering, but I mean, it was going this way for a while, but Hasbro seemed to sort of put the nails in the coffin on it because it just became so expensive, and it's like they wanted a piece of this collector stuff too. Like, it's like these box sets that are special box sets that you pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for. I'm like, guys, just make the freaking cards and we'll decide which ones we want which ones are valuable. I understand the odd special edition, but then hand those out for free. Don't charge people like $1,000 to get them. It just seems, I don't know, it just seems really sort of, money graspy. You know what I mean? Like, I just, I love Magic the Gathering. It's so much fun. I love all the cards. I love the tactile feel of it. I even love the online one. I was sort of begging Gimpy G to do some more Magic with me. We build a deck or something. So, hopefully we'll do that. But even that doesn't have the same. I love the tactile feel of the cards. So I thought, well, you know what? I've got a problem with the way it is. Let's create our own. That is, maybe there's a way of making it open source or having like you know what you should do? We should have it should be a card series that have official cards, and then maybe there's additions so you can create your own. So there's an open source element of it as well. Because why not? If you're going to invest all this money in these cards, you should be able to have a share of the rewards. I mean, if you're buying these cards and holding them for a while and then trading them, although personally I've got to say, the whole point of the cards for me, it's like comic books. People buy comic books and then just keep them in the package. I mean, I get it. You want to look after them, but for fuck's sake, read them first. That's the whole point, is to read them, isn't it? I mean, I worry that this collector mentality is sort of has made it entirely a mercenary operation instead of something that you just love doing. I mean, comic books are just so great to read, and I always end up fucking them up because I'm reading them in bed and I, drop a drink on them or roll on them and crush them at night or whatever. But you want to read them. I want to know what's going on in the comic book. I don't just want to send it off again. Anyways, aliens and astronauts. I don't know what the best way to do it is. Maybe is that like a Kickstarter thing? Do you think, or is that what's the best way to do that? Be curious to know about that. That'd be fun. I feel like I think that'd be a good business venture too. Like I feel like that's something that could actually work as a business, because I think there's a demand for stuff. People want something original. Like they want to be a part of a group, and they also want to have the scarcity of these things. Like they love the Pokemon cards. I mean, I love the Pokemon cards. I love the Pokemon cards are a little better. They're a little less expensive, I find, although you can spend a fortune on that too. But the Magic the Gathering stuff just seems, I don't know, it just seems incredibly mercenary right now. Anyways, I'm so excited. Happy to be here. Probably not the first to say I'm a huge fan. Oh, thank you, Evie Baby. 99. Not the first, but certainly the latest. Welcome. What is heartbreaking, Zefla? What is that? I had an amazing Magic the Gathering collection. My mom threw my whole collection out when I left home. I went back to get them and they were gone. Oh my God. Zefla, I think you may have told me this. Have you told me this story before? Or maybe this is just the story that I've heard many, many times. I have a whole box of Dungeons and Dragons stuff that some mom threw out here, and I actually looked for the owner. I actually looked for the kid's name to see if I could find the kid in case he wanted it back. But they're a little moldy and stuff, and maybe he's moved on or whatever. Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of old Dungeons and Dragons stuff that I saved from the garbage, as my wife would say. Of all of your foibles, the garbage picking is my least favorite. All right, I was not supposed to do this for long because as I say, I did a very wimpy short workout today, but I will talk about the book for a second. So we're on to blood, basically. We're into the blood system, talking about platelets, talking about hemoglobin, which literally means like glob in the blood or something. It was like a temporary name that sounds so technical now, but the reality is it really just meant like, oh, there's something in the blood. There's something I'm looking through my bad microscope, but I'm seeing, anyways, how that works, how we've discovered the different types of blood, and these horrific stories about crazy old docs trying to transfuse poor unsuspecting kids with cow's blood. Once they used leeches to remove large amounts of blood, they then tried to transfuse them with cow's blood. There was another case where he actually killed someone. I think it was in France, and I think he just avoided getting charged with murder because he tried to there was a very obviously psychologically messed up patient of his, and he thought, hey, you know what? Cows are docile. What if I put cow blood into this guy, and then that will make him more docile, like the cows, like a weird kind of combination of like medicine and sympathetic magic or something. I think it's sympathetic. It's called sympathetic magic. One of the two. I remember reading The Golden Bough years ago. Fabulous book, all about crazy magic stuff. Anyways, so weird combination of that. Of course, the guy died. He died with a giant puffy face where his body's fighting, was frantically fighting this cow's blood, foreign stuff being pumped into his body. Anyways, I just finished watching the episode where Mukherjee, Freudian, dives into the water with Jumper. Absolutely awesome episode, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Are you talking about? What was the one? Which was the one? Not the Tao of Rodney. Where's the Jumper one called? Someone give me the name. Where's my second brain? Where's Blurty Dad and my second brain? Web design and apps have some experience with Salesforce. Oh, I looked into Salesforce. Salesforce is for some reason, Salesforce is crazy popular. It's just a customer relationship manager thing, right? Is that worth looking into, Blurty Dad? I mean, I wondered about it. There's literally entry-level jobs in Salesforce that start at like 60 or 70 grand or something. I mean, not that I'm looking for an IT job. I'm an actor. But I just like to look into stuff that's going on. Grace Under Pressure. Thank you, Blurty Dad. Truly my second brain. There's whole YouTube channels on second brains. I never heard you mention once, Blurty Dad. Wendy Olson. Love that one. Is a good one, wasn't it? I've always told the YouTube war game community that your YouTube channel, there are war game companies such as GMT and Compass that have produced sci-fi and fantasy games. Ooh, that's cool. It's so funny. I haven't got into the war game stuff. Just because I'm worried about buying all those little figures and making myself even more broke. What else we got? Get into cybersecurity. If anything in IT, it's booming. Yeah, Zephyrla, it's true. It's true. I've got a bunch of courses that I've sort of started in cybersecurity. I absolutely love it. I've mentioned this many, many times, but wonderful podcast on the subject is not even. I think it's limiting to say it's just about cybersecurity, but is this Darknet Diaries? It's. I think it is much more than cybersecurity. It has this wonderful way of telling stories, and it's. I just think it's a brilliant podcast, whether you're into cybersecurity or not. But cybersecurity is certainly a big element of it. If you like Mr. Robot, you've got to be listening to Darknet Diaries. I told my science teacher about Rodney, and he said he was going to check out Stargate Atlantis. Wasn't shocked as he loves Doctor Who, but I'm excited to talk about it with him. Oh, cool. Well, Doctor Who's fantastic too. Although I'm old school Doctor Who. So Blurty Dad is your digital twin. I don't know, Brimstone. Could be. It's at least my second brain. God knows I'm not, it's probably more powerful than my first brain, to be honest. But could platform hosting, cloud platform hosting is big right now too. That's what I did. Oh, really? So you went into cloud platform hosting. So you're actually hosting sites, Rion Pyros? Yeah, security now. That's security now. Yeah, I love it. Dr. Fraud, did you listen to the latest one about the Apple exploits? Ooh, crazy. Steve Gibson did an entire episode on that because he was so taken with this thing. It's just kind of extraordinary. Jack Resider, that's right. And this is Darknet. Oh, it's so good. Miss Ojat, yes. Slate's Force is a solid program. What is that? Slate's Force. Yeah, it's just CRM. Is that just, when you say just CRM, is that in a derogatory way, or is that a good thing? I never could get into MTG. My friends in high school played in the 90s. The thing about Rion Pyros, the thing about Magic the Gathering for me was, first off, I loved playing it with my kid. I was playing it on set. I'd find there's always like some nerdy crew member who would want to play Magic the Gathering at lunch. So I remember being in Ottawa and having a wonderful time playing with my friend up there. And we go to like Magic the Gathering stores at lunch and stuff, and I'd spend my per diem on cards. Don't tell Jane. But for me it was just I love the artwork. I buy the cards I like. I've started getting into the idea of singles more, like where I don't buy the full decks anymore. Not full decks, the full packs. I end up I think it ends up being cheaper in the long run to just buy the cards you want. I host sites too and do cybersecurity. The web is my home from home. Yeah, me too. Me too, Brim. That's what I love. Salesforce is worth it, but it does have its downsides, especially with site speed. Oh, is it a clunky? Is it picking up all sorts of features? I remember getting lost in a forest with my partner, and it was dark, and all we had was a torch. He turned to me and said, "You be Rodney, I'll be Shepard." Yeah. In other words, you be useless. All right. No, just sites. Entire cloud infrastructures for small businesses. Oh, wow. Okay, great. Not just sites. Entire cloud infrastructure for small. Oh, interesting. And is that a good business to be in? I've been thinking of getting into VPS hosting. I think cloud computing is the future for a lot of companies' businesses. I don't know, Zephylab. I mean, hosting is tough because it feels to me like it's incredibly competitive. I'm with a host called SiteGround. I've been with them for years. Lovely, lovely bunch. Whenever there's a problem, they're very quick to get back to me, and there's even a couple of Stargate fans who I've run into there in the past. Again, I don't get any money for that or anything. I just that's who I found. There's also my friend has a company called, well, one of my online friends has a company called Mini Empire, My Mini Empire, and does a bunch of hosting that way. We could talk to him, see what he thinks about the hosting stuff, how it just seems incredibly cutthroat and incredibly tough to differentiate yourself, I would think, in that. What about game hosting? I was interested in that for sure. Like, I love the idea of like Minecraft servers and the various games that require the hosting, like Ark and stuff. I thought that could be kind of fun as well. But what else we got here? Restic, first time chat. Hello. Hosting is a competitive space, especially with support for it, and as a one-man band, hosting is almost impossible. Yeah, look, as I say, I have a couple of hosting services. I use WordPress.com, the full expensive version, because I just found that, you know, when something went wrong, it always went wrong at the wrong time when I didn't have time to play. When I've got time to play, it's fantastic. I love it. I'll be messing up all over the place, like now. But when you're, you know, working and stuff, and your wife goes, "Oh my God, what happened to Monkeys and Parrots website?" I'm like, I don't know. So I just found it was better to be hosted by a professional. So that worked out pretty well. I did have a Minecrafty hosted server. Yep, I did that. Murphy's Law is always pirate pup. You're right. Yeah, Murphy's Law. It's so true. I've been thinking of getting into the VPS. What else we got? Normal security guard. I'm not smart enough for cyber. Evie, baby, don't put yourself down. The cyber stuff, nothing is hard once you know how to do it. I mean, I know that sounds silly, but I really believe that. You know, it's like I say, high school dropout. You know, as long as you're interested in learning, as long as you're willing to do the work and do the learn and read the manuals, then you could go incredibly. I was amazed. I did IT for a couple of years, and I would always laugh at the fact that, you know, I would, like, especially like with the networking and stuff, I knew nothing. I knew nothing about Macs at the time, or Apple Talk, or any of that kind of stuff. But the networking stuff, I would read a book on how to do networking. I would read a book on programming. I'd read a book on batch files. I'd read a book on whatever system program they read, whatever database system they were using. Because it was all it was the old DB days when it was, you know, the various different forms of databases, relational databases that were out there before it got sort of easier and with Access and all that kind of stuff. But Excel, Excel became Access basically got dragged into Excel, didn't it? But I just read the manuals. I'd come in, I would go through stuff, or I'd read those, you know, 21-day guide to whatever. Come in, fix the problem, which was always usually pretty trivial once you knew what it was. And people were like, "You're a genius." I'm like, "No, I literally read the manual. It's on your book. Like, it's on your desk right there. That book that's covered in dust, that's your manual. That's all I did." So, a David Hewlett Minecraft server, I'd be on that. We tried it, Tierney. We actually had a bunch of Minecraft servers for a while. I loved it, but there were some issues with the kids. Usually kids related to me, not my kid, but there were some kids that got into trouble. And I just didn't want to be a parent on that. You know, I love the idea of some kind of a virtual community. I think Minecraft would be kind of fun for that. If I could get back into that kind of stuff. I love the programmatic approach to Minecraft, though. I love all the stuff that's out there. I think Dr. N, PhD, was playing with some Minecraft proteins and stuff, which I am fascinated by. I think that would be a really fun way of using it. So Minecraft server with Stargate plugin. I've done it. I've been there. I've done it, Morlocks. I've done it. It's great. It's fun. Just to check, do you have an issue with ships? I wanted to ask for boundaries, as many people ship McShep online, but boundaries must be followed in opinions of actors involved. I feel like you want to write stuff, you write it. I mean, whatever. I'm not worried about it. It doesn't bother me. I mean, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to see myself. I don't want to see my big slobbery lips all over Shepherd or anything. But you know, if that's what you want to do, then you should. I mean, that's not what the internet's for, my friend. You with my blessing. You do what you want. Do what thou wilt, my friend. Hi everyone. How cool! Like, what an epic epoch we are living in. That this is even a possibility. We can have these chats. We can discuss things like writing your own fan fiction. That you could talk about biotech and Minecraft servers and stuff. I'm like, epic. The epic epoch. Hi everyone, I have to agree. Cybersecurity outside of a SOC, I'm not sure what that means, outside of a SOC, is all about knowing the fundamentals of systems, networking, system administration, etc. Lots of fun stuff. Oh, Trisha, I am so jealous. Yeah, I think I would happily go into cybersecurity. I think that would probably keep me happy. Not necessarily working for other people, but maybe like consulting or something. I wondered about it from a Hollywood standpoint. Like I feel like the security on, they have this weird stupidity about security in films. Like, they'll hire cybersecurity firms to stop things from leaking out of their server, like film leaks or script leaks or any of that kind of stuff, and then they'll throw old drafts in a blue bin for recycling and put it out to the curb. You know what I mean? Like I feel like cybersecurity is so much more than just the computers, and even the computer stuff. It's like you can be as secure as you want if you don't, if no one is following your procedures properly in your office or organization, or whatever, then you're screwed as well. There's a fabulous example of it with I think it was the Star Trek. No, it was definitely Star Trek for that matter, where you get these sides. The sides being the just the pages that you need to read the scene for an audition. And so, of course, to stop these terribly important pages from ever reaching, God forbid, the civilians out there reached it, they would send it in this weird app that would make it fuzzy whenever your mouse wasn't over it, and you couldn't print it out, and you couldn't, I don't know why, but I find it easier to have my lines written out. So there's something about the tactile thing about paper and seeing it on a page that really helps me memorize stuff. So I will print stuff out, and this, of course, this app was making it difficult. Then I went, wait a second, and I took out my phone, I snapped a shot of it, snapped a shot of the next page, snapped a shot of the next page, and printed those out. I mean, it was like, and they'd spent a fortune on this stupid anti-copyright or whatever the hell it is, or copyright it's ridiculous. Anyways, yeah, I love the cat and mouse of it too, Brimstone. It's interesting. It's constantly evolving. This is, I guess, cybersecurity, so you always have to learn something new. It's great. Well, and that's the other thing is I think that, Brimstone makes a really good point here. The other thing about cybersecurity that I love, and you get this from Darknet Diaries, is that it is so much more than just technical knowledge. Obviously, technical knowledge, imperative. But it also takes kind of a thinking outside of the box. It takes a bit of a generalist in some ways to go, okay, we've locked down all the computers. What is going on? Oh, wait a second. That guy's streaming a personal blog on the whatever. So it's kind of interesting. Question: if Rodney went to any fast food place, where would he go? Jane and I were a big fan of In-N-Out Burger. I really liked Carl's Jr. back when it was was it a $6 burger? Yeah, the $6 burger at Carl's Jr. Oh, I used to love that. But I think now it's more pizza. I think pizza's more my thing now. So probably, I'm like my son, I'm quite taken with the Papa John's pizza. As long as it's warm, I like the cheese crust pizzas. But when it starts to congeal, it ain't pretty. So you got to nuke that sucker. Although that stuff also warms up well because the cheese in it stops the crust from getting. Now I'm getting hungry. But yes, those would be my three: Carl's Jr., In-N-Out Burger, and Papa John's or Papa Joe's or whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's called. Anyways, InfoSec covers digital and physical security in a company. Yes, interesting. Random human being, great name by the way. InfoSec is fascinating. Also, I've got to say, what is the other one? OPSEC, OpenSec, what is it called? Where you basically use the tools that are out there, the social media accounts and stuff of people, and you pull all this disparate data together to put together OpenSint. Is that right? OSINT? OSINT, that's it. Open Source Intelligence Gathering. Gathering? T? Shouldn't it be a G then? OSIG? OSIG? The decent show was The Undeclared War. They used real commands, and its output mostly. I was impressed with the tech they used. Simon Pegg was in that show. Oh, interesting. Okay. The Undeclared War. Okay. How to keep people out of secure spaces. Yeah, good luck with that. My problem is I see a locked door. I just want to know what's behind it. I'm like a cat, with the 9 lives and the curiosity and all that stuff. I got a few people to say thanks to and say hi to. First, I've got a first-time chat here from Pneumatic Dragon Studio. Pneumatic Dragon. Oh, bring it on. Play your character as Rodney, but as a security systems consultant. Yeah, just yell at people. How could you be so stupid? Oh my God, thank you for subscribing, Pneumatic Dragon Studios. That was very, very kind of you. It is very cool now. You should ask him about it. What is it? What's very cool now? Xenos, also a high school dropout, but went back to get my GED. Yeah, I worry that I should do that too. Don't tell Gimpy G that, because Lance has been trying to get me to get my high school diploma. He's threatening to walk me through it. Learn everything when it interests you. Sometimes the traditional education doesn't really teach us properly. Scott's Arcade. Yeah, I mean, you just can't beat. This is the whole Tech Bandits thing. In all of its many different forms, whether it's escape rooms or live chats or the the stuff I've been doing at the community center, or just talks. I mean, the reality is, I think we have the collected knowledge of the human race available on the internet, in most cases in a video format on YouTube, and our kids aren't diving into it. I mean, like I'm flabbergasted. Like I even as a kid, I think I would be lost to the internet, I'm sure, but I just couldn't. I can't get over the fact that teachers don't need to teach. They need to freaking inspire kids into doing their own learning, because without that, it's useless. You know what I mean? The fact that, you start school at, kindergarten to grade 3, and you're like, this is the coolest thing ever. Oh my God, I'm learning everything. I want to know everything. What's that cloud? What's this? It's why is the sky blue? And then by grade 4, they're like, yes, learning's dumb. You know what I mean? How do you kill curiosity? Send a kid to school. It's just really worrying. That's what I loved about the Montessori approach, was that the kids seemed engaged and it was active and stuff. And I just kind of want to, I feel like I was robbed of an education to some extent, because I feel like people decided that I was an artist. And so, I was an artist, I'm going to be an actor. And I was a part of that, of course, but you mirror what you see, you reflect what's sort of there. And as a result, it was like, oh, if you're an actor, you don't do any of this science and tech stuff. But I loved science and tech. I'd go home every night and pull apart TVs and video games and sometimes put them back together again. I mean, like I feel like I was misled by, and also there's the other issue was I was a terrible student. I couldn't concentrate. I'd sit in rooms and as soon as I tried to focus, I'd fall asleep. And God, even the thought of it drives me crazy. I feel sorry for my kid. My kid went back to school after the winter holidays, and I was sad. He was fine, but I was like, oh God, having to go back to school. And like, the thought of it, just even to this day, destroys me. Grant curiosity, right, Seabass? Very true. All right, so I've set out Pneumatic Studio Dragons, very good, Dragon Studios. Scott's Arcade says, learn everything when it interests you. Sometimes it doesn't really teach us, probably. Yes, exactly. I think I mentioned. Thank you very much, by the way, Scott's Arcade, for mentioning that, and for being a first-time chat. Another first-time chat. Restic, hosting a competitive. Yes. Okay, so I think I caught up with everyone. All right, fantastic. Thank you all for subs and stuff. It all helps. And speaking of helping, I should help myself by getting the hell out of here. I was going to do a really short one. I got to walk a dog. I've got a wife to feed. I got salads to make. Salads. I want to eat salad. I want to eat Christmas pudding. Not even Christmas pudding. I just want to eat Christmas treats. Stupid January when you have to make up for all the stupid things you ate in stupid December. Can I go back in time and do less school? Yeah. I mean, look, if you do well in school and if you enjoy school, I think I'm jealous as hell of you. Like I'm jealous of Baz, who actually seems to be able to figure this stuff out and still have a life. My wife is one of those brilliant people I've ever met. She went to school. She loves school. She's well read. She's well rounded. She's got she has a life. She has friends, many more than I do. I mean, she just seems to. She's like this. Like a sponge for knowledge. I mean, she just what she knows. Listening to her teach the producing class that she teaches at the film school is I've been doing this for 30-something years. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that's how that worked. You know what I mean? Like it's amazing. So I think education works. It works for some people. Jane's also got a different background. I mean, Jane's background was they had no money. She had to have scholarships, and in order to have scholarships, you had to work freaking hard. So maybe it was a matter. Maybe if I didn't have a choice, I could have knuckled down too. I find it unlikely, but so she didn't have a choice. She had to go to school. That was very only child as well. So a lot of focus, I think, on her for the education side of stuff. And that was her way out. That was her way into school. That was her way into getting to Hollywood and working at E and all this kind of stuff. I mean, that wouldn't happen probably without school. Pneumatic Dragon Studios, thank you very, very much for your many, many sub things. That's very, very kind of you. I'm on 1,200 calories a day diet at the moment. I feel your pain. Zephyr Lab. What is it my sister says? Diet is die with a T. Just be sensible. I don't know what 1,200 calories is like, but just be sensible. Yeah. I mean, I think what did they say? The math is pretty simple. You do more exercise. You know, you burn more energy than you eat, and you know, so that's. But at the same time, you do want to be sensible about it. Diets can do weird things to you. I feel like my first introduction to diets was years ago in my first marriage, and I feel like I've never had the same relationship with food since then. It's become much more neurotic of a relationship with food that I have now than I did before. It's much more sort of like binge and not purge, but it would binge and avoid, basically. What was that? Yeah, you went to university. Whatever. Feast or famine, says the. What is your degree in? English and film. Well, that'll be useful. Yeah, you just better find yourself a very talented actor to marry. Jane's, I didn't know Jane was listening. I guess your wife fills the holes in your personality. What holes? What are you talking about, William Arons? I've got no holes. What are you talking about? Jane's just gravy. Gravy? All right. Lady Gravy. That's my wife. Use the force, Mook. All right. Talented and brilliant actor, that is. Thank you, J.C. Slicer, for filling in those blanks. David, are you morphing into Mark Hamill? Am I? I don't know. I'm getting you're saying Mark Hamill's like, 30 years older than I am. No, 20 years old? 50. How old is Mark Hamill? But yes, you're saying I look old and craggly. Yes, I definitely am. I could definitely do worse than that. Jane is hilarious. Flirty Dad, you just stay being a second. I'll be the funny one around here. Thank you very much. Jane, you're cut off. No streaming for you. You're getting more laughs than I do. All right. I'm out of here. Jane is hilarious. Yes, you're right. I guess what else we got here? LOL. I'm David's age, I bet. Die Hawk Titan. I am 55? 56 this year? I'll be 56 in April, I guess. Is that right? David, if you want to watch some lab stuff, I'm going to be streaming from the lab presently. Oh, well, should I raid you? Can I raid you? This is perfect. This is a perfect. I've never been able to raid James. James, I'm going to raid you, okay? Is that all right? Because I got to go now anyway, so it'd be fantastic. And I would like to watch some lab stuff. I'll be 55 this year in May. There you go, Titan. You're actually younger than I am. Thank you for pointing that out. It's always the ones we love that call us out. Well done, Lady Jane. I want to be you when I grow up. You're not in your 50s? Shut up, Rustic. I'm totally in my 50s. Hamill is 72. Oh, God. Trying to become Mark Hamill. Yes. And I'm doing a much better job than Mark Hamill is because I already look 72. I just turned 25. Oh, my God. Evie, baby. My God. 20s were fun, I got to say. I'd have guessed 40s. Oh, Restic, you are welcome here. Only 15 years older than me, says Dewey, 1984. Okay, how do we get into ages? I think you're as young as you feel. And I feel like I'm 150. Baby alert. Dr. Fraud's got to be talking about me. Okay, so I'm going to raid James. James, are you live now? Got to find out. Somebody find out if James R. Gurney is live now. And if so, we got some serious freaking definitely delay until he's live. Okay. How long are you going to be, James? I can only talk for so long. There's only so much in this little brain of mine that I have to share. Be well, Dave. Thank you very much, Diehawk Kitty. Cal says he's live now. He's live now. Cal's like, look, if you want a real stream. Cal is like, get the hell out of here. Okay, what do? I go !raid. Is that right? And then I write James R. Gurney. Is that right? Did I get that right? Okay, just before I hit this, I'm hitting !raid. Hey, Jonathan MLH, how are you, buddy? So I'm going to go !raid James R. Gurney. Have I got that right? I don't do this a lot. James R. Gurney, yeah, okay. Yes, it's raid James R. Gurney. I got it ready. Here we go. I'm raiding. Starting the raid. This is exciting. Sounds good. James, we're coming your way. We are heading your way right now. Now what do I do? Oh, it's got to wait. It processes it for a bit, doesn't it? Look, everybody, thank you so much. Please go to techbandits.org. Check us out. There's some merch and stuff there that will be very, very helpful. There's a Patreon, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, if you do feel like you're enjoying this at all and you want to be a part of it all, then please do. There's a Discord as well there. Yeah, and of course the email of awesomeness. Sign up for that. What are you kidding? Of course you got to be. Let's go do some raiding. Why did it not? Exclamation is for bot commands. Oh, shoot, I put the wrong one in. Okay, all right. Raid, and then raid James R. Gurney. There you go. Wait, Cal says, wait. Did you get that wrong, Cal? Did Cal get something wrong? Cal. Oh my gosh, Cal, read the manual. Come on. Of course, a huge thank you to Cal for being always so patient with me. And everyone else, thank you very much. So yeah, go check out the site. And until we geek again, I will say, be brave, be kind, and be brilliant, and get your butts over to James R. Gurney. Let's get his stream rocking. I can guarantee you this is going to be some fantastic science going on there. What? No, maybe. What? Waves? What? The raid's being created. There you go. I think we're good. Are we not good, Cal? What are you knowing about? You're freaking me out. Rejuvit. Let's go. There we go. There we go. Peace. Wait for it. We're waiting for it. Thank you, Dr. Fraud. We're waiting for it. Yeah. Zephyr Lab. Here we go. Knowing you saying I was wrong. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. No, you saying I was wrong. I'll say it. I could say that all the time, Cal. It doesn't have to be real, does it? Cal is, oh, here we go. Raid now. 67 viewers coming in. What happened to the 111? 67 viewers. Is it going to go, does it keep building or what does it do? Why haven't they got more people? Oh, I guess maybe not everyone's going to raid. Is that right? Okay, everyone, thank you very much. Cheerio and huzzah! Here we go. Raiding now. Oh, this is cool. Okay, all right. Do I get to watch can I get to watch his stream now as well? Is that, am I allowed to do that? Here we go. Woohoo! Real science. Okay. All right. Rating the party. I think that's done. What are we burning? We're burning things? Why can't I see it? Oh, I got to go on this. Because I should be on Twitch.